Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, and I apologise in advance if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well, if there's any lag, anything like that at all. Sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel. Before I get into the main topic of this video, I just want to say that I've been fairly active on my Twitter page of late. If you want to take a look at it, you're more than welcome. Links in the description to all of my social media pages. On my Twitter page, I've posted recently links to Eurovision songs that I think deserve a little bit more love, junior Eurovision songs that I think deserve a bit more attention as well, and also images of musicians I'd like to see represent certain countries, perhaps as early as 2022. So if you're at all interested, there's a link down below. The point of this video, though, is to talk about how I rank Eurovision songs. I don't believe I've ever made a video like this before, and I want to make it clear that this might turn out to be the nerdiest video about Eurovision that I will ever make, because it's very, very specific and niche, and I think this video will only be of interest to not hardcore Eurovision fans necessarily, but fans of the contest who really like their spreadsheets and lists, because I am definitely that type of Eurovision fan. There's going to be a lot of waffle. I probably won't explain myself terribly well, but here we go. As I've said before on this channel, I've been watching Eurovision since 2003. That's the first contest that I remember watching. And then I really started paying attention to it a lot more a few years after that. And then with regards to national finals and keeping an eye on those, that only really started to happen maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. And that was when I started ranking the songs as recently as about 2012 or 2013. Maybe even slightly before that, I don't really know. And how I used to do it was very simple. The songs that I liked the most went near the top. The songs I wasn't so keen on went near the bottom. I moved them around a few times, and then that was it. About 6 years ago, I would say, maybe 7 years ago, I put together a spreadsheet on my computer, my old computer, and what I did is I just went through every contest originally from 2003 to the present day. So it would have been 2003 to about 2015, let's say. And I just ranked all of the songs. And I said, that's it. I don't really need to think about it anymore. I'm looking at that spreadsheet now. You've got the running order, country, artist, song title, English translation, my ranking, and then the actual result. And that's how it was for a long time. Then I decided to go further back in time, and I went back to 1993, which is the year that I was born. And that's how it stayed for a long time. Then about 2 years ago, I decided that it was high time I updated these rankings. And I'm really, really interested to know how many of you watching this do this. Because obviously there's so many people on YouTube who post ranking videos throughout the Eurovision season. And there's 1 or 2 channels I know of where a few years after a particular edition of the show, they update their tops. But a lot of people don't, and I'm wondering whether away from YouTube, every now and then they just move a country up or move a country down, or this song ends up being a personal qualifier or not. I'm really interested to know, and it seems like such a simple question to answer. How do you rank the Eurovision songs? But I suppose for a lot of people perhaps it's quite convoluted maybe as to how you come to your top 38, 39, top 40, whatever it is. Over the past few years, what I've done, and I think this is the best way for me and maybe a lot of other people, is I only really start ranking the songs when we've got about 5 or 6. There's no point doing it when there's 2 or 3 because that's such a low number. You see people on YouTube, my ESC 2021 top 1, ridiculous. I'm not watching a video like that because it's obvious what that number one is going to be. It only really gets interesting when we have more songs in the mix, and then things move up and down, and people's opinions change, and then the betting odds come into the fray. It's just really interesting when, you know, more and more songs are released and what have you. So what I have done for the past few years, not when I started doing this, but for the past couple of years definitely, I just sort of have a list on my computer, probably in a notebook as well, and I just put a country in when a song is chosen or internally selected, and then I move it around a few times, and then once we have all of the songs, let's say that there's about 37, 38, I will keep that list as it is. Then what I will probably do, and I do a lot of this every year, is I will watch fan recaps, if you will, and then I'll rank all of the songs again, and then again. So before you know it, I've got about 5 different, slightly different columns. What usually happens is that there is a clear winner. I don't know about you, maybe your personal winner changes from the moment we have all of the songs to after the contest. Maybe you have 3 or 4 different winners in the space of a few months. But for me, it usually turns out to be the case that my winner stays my winner. It was Italy this year, it was Norway last year, it was Australia in 2019. Nobody else really overtakes them. It did happen with 2014 when I went back to update my rankings. The UK was my winner for a long time of that Copenhagen contest in 2014, but now the Netherlands is my clear winner of that year. And it's interesting to look back at old rankings and see what songs you preferred then, when you were younger, compared to now. I mean, there really was quite a number of years between my original lists and my current, but by no means finite, rankings. I also want to give a shout out, and I'm going to pronounce this person's name wrong, but ESC Gerber, or Gerber. For many years they've been putting together a little website where you can sort the songs. You just click on which country's entry you prefer. It takes about 10 minutes, and before you know it, there's your top. And some people might say, okay, that's it, that's definitive, that is my ranking, and I don't need to change it, and my opinion won't change at any point. So I do use that, and I've used that website multiple times over the years, and it was a good help when I updated my ranking for all of the contests of my lifetime, pretty much. So going back to the point I made a moment ago, I usually end up with about 4 or 5 columns, and then I work out the average placing, and it all gets very, very, like I said a little while ago, convoluted. It doesn't really need to be this intense, I guess. Maybe I've just got too much time on my hands in the evenings, I don't really know. But what happens is I'll have a ranking going into the week of the contest, but I won't change it during the week of the contest. What I'll do is I'll obviously, and surely this happens for everybody, whether it's because of the performance or the rehearsals you've seen, whatever it is, a song that you weren't so keen on at first, you end up perhaps really liking. And it goes from being a personal qualifier, a non-personal qualifier, to a personal qualifier. My word, I'm rambling now. So after the contest, maybe about 2 weeks afterwards, I will look at the songs afresh. I will probably re-watch the semi-finals and final on YouTube. I did that this year. And then I will tweak a few things, and then I'll have another column, and then I'll say, okay, that's pretty much set in stone. So for 2021, and in fact for all of the years of my lifetime, which I can see here, I don't intend on tweaking them at all for another few years at the very least. What I did do is I put, and there's 1 year per spreadsheet, just to the side I put rise and fall, so I can see which countries I have ranked much higher compared to last time and much lower. So, for example, if I just take a look at, I don't know, 2017, I can see that Finland was my biggest grower in the final. Finland, a personal qualifier of mine in 2018 and 2017, but it wasn't in real life. But anyway, Finland went from 12 to 8 in my ranking, whereas Iceland went from 15 to 20. So I put that in because it's just interesting to see. Certainly one that I can think of, 2005, Israel, Shiri Maimon, that wasn't a personal qualifier of mine at all for a very long time, and now not only is it in my final, but it's in my personal top 10 of the 2005 contest. And I think that's just because I've matured a lot, and my appreciation of all different types of music is so much more than it was when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I listened to so much more different styles of music now as well. It's just really interesting to see. Anyway, I did say this video probably wouldn't be of interest to many of you, but let's keep going. So yes, there's 1993. I think it only really gets interesting when we get to 2004, because that was when the semi-final came along. Now, I don't know how other people do this necessarily. Do let me know, because I am interested. Way back in the day, the rule used to be that if you finished in the top 10 of the final, those nations would automatically qualify for the following year, unless there was one of the big 5, big 4, whatever it was back then. If one of them finished in the top 10, then the 11th place nation would automatically be in the final the following year. So, for 2004, Austria was an automatic qualifier, because they finished in the top 10 in the 03 contest. However, Austria's entry Veil de Mensch Zelt by Alf Poyer was not in my personal top 10 of the 2003 contest, so it needs to be in my personal semi-final if we stick to the rules. And then also Belgium, which was the runner-up in real life, not in my personal top 10 of the Riga contest, so that has to go into my personal 04 semi-final as well. I'll just read what I've typed here. Bear in mind this is fairly old. I've put, Belgium finished highest in my 2003 ranking, so their position in the semi-final for 2004 is determined by the place that the highest ranked qualifier in real life qualified from. In this case, the Netherlands were song 22, so Belgium takes slot 22. Bear with me. The second highest was Austria. They go in the second highest ranked qualifier position in real life, which is 17th. So looking at it now, you've got Slovenia, then Austria, then Croatia in the running order, and Belgium closes my personal semi-final. In the final, the highest qualifier from my ranking that did not make the real final is Latvia. So Latvia, in my semi-final of 2004, finished second. So they take the slot of the highest qualifier in real life that didn't make my personal final, which is Bosnia and Herzegovina. So Latvia takes slot 12 in my personal final. Once this has been done for all of my personal qualifiers, Estonia's left, so they end up taking slot 2, which is where Austria were in real life. So there you go. In 2004, there are 4 songs in my final that weren't in the final in real life. And if we look at 2005, the rules are the same there. In 2005, there were 3 songs in the final that weren't in the real life final: the Netherlands, Portugal, and Estonia, for those of you that are interested. Of course, as well, well, that doesn't really matter until we move forwards in terms of the actual winner. So yeah, the 2006 semi-final, Romania's involved in it. In my personal semi-final, they weren't in real life. 3 songs in the 06 final: Estonia again, Poland, Belgium. Belgium didn't qualify in 2006, which was a big surprise, but is a qualifier for me. In 2007, a bit of a messy lineup, it has to be said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs in my Helsinki lineup that weren't in the real Helsinki final. It says here, Once the qualifier, this is 2007 only. Once the qualifiers have been allocated their spots, several countries are left. The country that finished highest in my 2006 ranking takes the spot of the country that finished highest in the real 2007 semi-final that has not qualified in my personal rankings. That means Denmark takes slot 7, which was Slovenia in real life. With Estonia and Belgium left, Estonia takes the position of the country that finished highest in the real 2007 contest, 23, that's Armenia, leaving Belgium with position 9, which is Lithuania. I did tell you that it was quite intense and all over the shop, but there we are. Now in 2008, 2 semi-finals. As the real winner in 2007, Serbia was not my personal winner. Serbia has to go into a semi-final, so takes the spot of my personal winner of 2007, Belarus, in the necessary semi-final. So Serbia goes into position 9 of semi-final 2 of 2008. Belarus, for the record, ends up taking slot 23. That's just the one that's left once I sort everything out. 2009, much the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 songs there that weren't in the real life final. 2010, 3 songs. Greece rising 10 places. I might go through this in a bit more depth in a moment. 2011, as Germany, an automatic qualifier, won in real life in 2010, but Sweden, not an automatic qualifier, won in my personal ranking in 2010. This means that Sweden is automatically placed into my personal 2011 final alongside Germany because they are already an automatic qualifier. One less country therefore competes in my semi-final too. Every country below Sweden in the running order is shifted up 1 place. So there's another little rule that I've introduced. For the final, as Germany is an automatic qualifier, coupled with my personal winner from 2010, Sweden, this means that 1 extra country will be in my personal ranking for the final. After each qualifier is assigned their spot, using the method that I described earlier, Slovakia is left with no position, so is tacked onto the end as the 26th performing nation after Georgia. 2012, there's no rules there. 2013, nothing there. 2014, nothing there. 2015, nothing there. 2016, nothing there. 2017, semi-final 2. As Spain was my personal 2016 winner, the real winner from that year, Ukraine, needs a semi-final spot. So they are added last in the second semi-final, which is the show in which Ukraine voted in real life. So that's how I devised that little rule. As Ukraine did not qualify from my personal semi-final 2 ranking in 2017, there is 1 less spot in my personal final, with each country moving up 1 place below Ukraine's slot in the real running order. The same applies in 2018. As Italy was my personal 2017 winner, the real winner from that year, Portugal, needs a semi-final spot, so they are added last in the running order for semi-final 1 as song 20. After every finalist has been assigned their spot for 2018, this leaves position 18, Bulgaria, vacant. Each country below this is shifted up 1 place, meaning that there's 25 nations in my 2018 final. 2019, nothing different. 2020, obviously, it was cancelled. So what I did is that the grand final running order was devised by myself. Each country's half in the final was actually decided at random using little slips of paper, and I didn't even pull them out of the bowl, my mother did. That's how that's how I came to devise the running order pretty much for the 2020 contest. Kept the Netherlands in 23rd place because they were going to perform there anyway. My personal host nation of 2020, Australia, was randomly drawn into the second half, with another random draw determining their position, and it ended up being number 15. As for 2021, no changes there. Norway, a personal automatic finalist. The Netherlands taking Norway's slot in one of the semi-finals, and ended up being a personal qualifier anyway. So, my word, if you've stuck with me so far, full credit to you, because my God, I've rambled for England there. But that's how I put together not only the running orders, but ranking the songs. I really enjoy doing it. It takes a lot of time. Maybe I do it more intensely than I need to. Maybe I take it more seriously than I need to every year. But it's nice. And sometimes, once I've put together the ranking and put it in the spreadsheet and it's done, maybe a few weeks later I'll think, hang on a minute, that song should be above that one, and that song should be below that one. And I'm looking at the 2021 ranking right now and I'm thinking, okay, we've got Belgium as number 17, we've got Romania as number 16, okay. Sweden is number 15. Do I prefer Voices over Amnesia? Maybe not. Do I need to change it? I don't know. If I do, I should say I also have multiple other documents, and it's very Wikipedia-like, I have to say. I've got documents with all of the results, all of the songs, all of the artists. Oh my word, it's quite heavy going. So when I put the rankings in, I have a massive spreadsheet with numbers and every year, and it's just color coordinate. Oh my word. You're probably thinking that I'm some sort of freak right now, but that's what it's like. That's how importantly I take this every year. I feel as though there's... Oh yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I'll mention this briefly. I'm going to go back to 1993, and I may as well briefly mention to you which countries rose the most and fell the most when I updated my rankings a few years ago. So in 1993 it was Denmark, 22 to 15. That was Tommy Seebach band Unterschönene Himmeln. 15 to 20 for Germany, Münchener Freiheit will so weit. 94, Russia grew the most, 21 to 12. Remarkable how your opinion can change. That was Russia's debut, Judiv Vechny Stranik. Spain went from 13 to 18. That was Alejandro Abad with Echa no es Echa. In 95, Greece went from 20 to 17. That's Pia Prosefi by Elena Konstantopoulou. Several countries moved down 2 places. The UK, for example, went from 8 to 10. That's Love City Groove, Love City Groove. 96, Portugal rose the most, 12 to 7. That's O Meu Coração Não Tem Cor by Lucia Moniz. A couple of countries moved down 2 places, including France, Dana Braz and L'Héritage des Celtes d'Iwanit Bougale. 97. Very interesting to look at this, because I'm very interested to know about you. Which songs over the years have risen the most in your personal rankings, and which ones have fallen the most? Which songs are you just not that keen on anymore? Anyway, 1997, a couple of countries have risen a few places. According to this, Ireland and France. So that's Mark Roberts' Mysterious Woman, 12 to 9, and Fanny Sentiment's Song, 16 to 13. In terms of down, 2 places for several countries, including Estonia. That's Maria Lis Illus with Kila Tut Ma. 98, Switzerland has risen the most, 0 point in real life, 17 to 14. That's Gunvor with Lassine, and several countries moved down too. 99, Turkey and Cyprus, 2 places. Cyprus, for example, Marlene Thanayerotas went from 12 to 10. Spain went from 20 to 22. That's Lydia No Quiero Escuchar. You might remember the rainbow dress. 2000, Germany went from 9 to 6. Stefan Raab, Vadachodududada. And Spain went from 13 to 17. That is Serafin Zubiri with Colgado de un Sueño. 2001, Croatia went from 18 to 12. I remember it took me an age to update the 01 ranking. I just used the actual contest footage online and also fan rankings and just short snippets of each song, rather than listening to all of the songs in full again. Anyway, Croatia, Vanna, Strings of My Heart, I already said 18 to 12. Norway went from 9 to 14. That's Haldole Greed with On My Own. 02, France, 11 to 5. Sandrine François, Il Faut du Temps. Greece went from 20 to last place. That's Michaelis Rakintsis, Sagapo. 03, Turkey, the actual winner, went from 14 to 11. So it's my number 11. That's Sertab Erener with Every Way That I Can. Austria went from 19 to 22. I've already mentioned that today. In the 04 semi-final, Macedonia and Finland have risen quite a bit. Switzerland went from 11 to 15. In the 04 final, Greece 12 to 8, Sakis Ruvas of course. Malta, Julian Ludwig 7 to 11. The 05 semi-final, there's two here. I'll mention Bosnia 9 to 6. That's Feminem, and Estonia went from 4 to 10. That's Sun Tribe. In the 05, that is the 05 final. Sorry, the 05 semi-final, Belarus, the biggest grower, 21 to 14. That's Angelika Agabash. The biggest fallers, Estonia and Finland. The 06 semi-final, two countries up 2 places. Sweden 12 to 10, Croatia 16 to 14, because of course Croatia was a personal semi-finalist that year. And in terms of down, Slovenia was a qualifier, now isn't, 9 to 12. Portugal 13 to 16. That's also interesting as well. Is there a country or countries that were personal qualifiers for you but now aren't? Maybe even this year. In the 06 final, Estonia has gone from 13 to 9. That's Sandra Oxenrid. And fallers, Moldova and Bosnia, 2 places. In the 07 semi-final, Portugal 24 to 17. That's Sabrina Dança Comigo. Montenegro 16 to 22. That's Stephen Faddy. In the 07 final, Ukraine 14 to 8. That's Dancing Lasha Tumbai, of course. For some reason, I had that ranked quite low. Anyway, Austria, biggest faller, 4 to 12 for Eric Papilaya. I'm going to really rush through this now because I'm sure I'm boring you. The 08's first semi-final, Poland 16 to 11, Estonia 14 to 17. In the 08 second semi-final, Ukraine, Shady Lady 10 to 6, several countries down 3. In the 08 final, Ukraine 20 to 10, so big rise, Czech Republic 13 to 20. 09 semi-1, Portugal 9 to 4, several countries down 3 places, I think that is. The 09 second semi-final, couple of countries up 1, Cyprus 2 to 4. These sound like betting odds, don't they? The 09 final, Portugal 17 to 10, Montenegro 12 to 18. 2010 semi-1, several countries up a few places, Russia 12 to 15. Semi-final 2, 2010, Georgia 9 to 6, several countries down 2. 2010 final, Greece 17 to 10, several countries down a few places, including Spain 13 to 17. 2011 semi-1, Norway 10 to 7, Turkey 6 down to 9. And 2011 semi-2, several down, oh that should be several up 1. I've made a big typo there. Oh, interesting. Several up 1 and a couple down. Oh. I've put them in the wrong order. That's why. Slovakia went from being a non-qualifier for me to a personal qualifier that year. That's twins with I'm Still Alive. Several down 1. There you go, you see. You always spot little errors. 2011 final. Germany 22 to 13, that's taken by a stranger, big rise for that. Moldova 10 to 18. 2012 semi-1, Ireland and Russia up a few places, Latvia and Belgium down. 2012 semi-2, Bulgaria 17 to 14, I used to hate that song. Slovakia down 11 to 15. 2012 final, Italy and Ireland are up, UK 10 to 16, that's Engelbert Humperdinck. 2013 semi-1, Netherlands 10 to 8, Serbia 7 to 9. 2013 semi-2, Romania 17 to 14, San Marino 4 to 6. 2013 final, Hungary and Georgia are up, San Marino 10 to 16. 2014 semi-1, Albania and Portugal are up, Belgium 12 to 15. 2014 semi-2, Austria was not a personal qualifier for a long time, rise like a phoenix, but now it's gone from 11 to 4, several countries down 2. 2014 final, Poland 23 to 14, man I underrated that song. Greece 14 to 21, so big fall there. 2015 semi-1, Moldova up a few places, Armenia and Greece down. Greece was a personal qualifier, now isn't. 2015 semi-2, several up 1, Portugal and Slovenia down a few places. 2015 final, couple of countries up, Lithuania for example, UK down 13 to 19, I overrated Electro Velvet. 2016 semi-1, several up 2, a couple are down 2. 2016 semi-2, Israel and Bulgaria up 2, Latvia and Ukraine down 2. Ukraine 1944 is not a personal winner. Not at all, not even a personal qualifier. 2016 final, Israel 21-15. I had difficulty with 2016 ranking those songs as well. Latvia and Malta 10-16 and 18-24. That's low for Latvia. But then again, there we are. 2017 semi-1, Moldova and Slovenia up 2, Iceland down from 5-8. 2017 semi-2, Hungary 15-11. I really like that song, but it's still not a personal qualifier. Serbia down 11-15. 2017 final, Finland gone from 12-8. Iceland 15-20. 2018 semi-1, Czech Republic and Ireland are up, but Croatia, Azerbaijan, Bulgaria, Macedonia and Finland are down. 2018 semi-2, Moldova 10-5, Ukraine 5-9. 2018 final, Moldova 25-19, Ukraine 20-24. I like the Ukrainian entry under the ladder, but I can't rank it any higher. 2019 semi-1, very minor changes here. San Marino up 1, Israel down 1, Israel being a personal semi-finalist that year. 2019 semi-2, no change. 2019 final, Iceland went up 2, UK went down 2. And then obviously last year, no change. This year, no change. So there you have it. This video has ended up being about 20 minutes longer than I wanted it to be. And, oh, so dull for many of you watching, I'm sure. But let me know. I'm interested. How do you rank the Eurovision songs? Is it really just a case of saying, this song's my favourite, so that's it, and this song's my least favourite, so that's it as well? You're probably thinking, why haven't I gone further back in time, pre-1993? Well, I'm in the process of doing it, but it's very slow going. I have 1992 here. My winner that year is the UK, Michael Ball. 1991, I've got it here, if you could see it. I've got about 4 different columns. Boom, boom, boom. Sweden, my winner. France, second. Belgium, third. But I've got, for example, here, Italy was my number 8. Then it was my number 12. Then it was my number 20. All over the place. All over the place. Portugal was my number 6, then my number 7, and then my number 7 again. Finland was my number 9. Then it was my number 11. Then it was my number 8. So up, down, all over the place. It's just so interesting how one day you might really enjoy a song and then you revisit it 24 hours later and it's several places lower. Remarkable. Anyway, that's enough because my voice is annoying me. I'll be back at some point soon with more Eurovision related content, maybe a look back video. I think 1999 is the next one, I can't quite recall. Surely we'll be getting the host city very soon, I would imagine within the next week. Surely within the next week, people have got to start booking hotel rooms and what have you, and the press and journalists, they need to know too. We should be getting maybe the Albanian contenders very shortly, and Estonia, because Estonia's national final, they're introducing quarterfinals to it, so lots of songs, and it starts within a few months, so we might be getting some news from them before you know it. And yeah, I can't wait. Roll on Eurovision 2022. Until next time, take care of yourselves. As I said earlier, links to my social media pages in the description below. Thanks for all of the support. Share this video, like it, subscribe, whatever it is. Bye for now.